Okay. Awake a lot last night. The longest World Series game ever. So I settled in to watch game three of the 2025 series. It left at 8 p.m. last night. Around 2:45 a.m., 6 hours, 45 minutes later, with the score tied 5-5, as it had been for hours in the longest game in World Series history. In meeting, in the 18th inning, Freddie Freeman was coming to bat with two out for the Dodgers. I've been watching for the same 6 hours and 45 minutes and said out loud in my bedroom, "Come on, Freddie, hit it over the fence. I want to go to sleep." And he did. The Dodgers' great two-way player, showing Otari, set a record by reaching base 9 times in a game, getting 4 hits, including 2 home runs in his first 4 times at bat. From then on, he was walked 5 times. The first four were intentional. No one ever before reached base 9 times in a single game before. The winning pitcher for the Dodgers, Will Klein, looked completely worn out in the last of his 4 scoreless innings. No wonder he had never pitched more than 3 innings in a professional game before. So the Dodgers lead 2 games to 1, and Ohtani was been unbeatable in the postseason. Pitches tonight, but both teams should have been exhausted with the marathon last night. Stay tuned. And then we go back to another culture thing. Irish Inwood. Inwood, the northern tip of Manhattan Island in New York City, the neighborhood which I grew up in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. It was an Irish Catholic neighborhood. Well, actually, it was an Irish Catholic Jewish neighborhood, but the groups rarely mixed, and each thought it was their own. The majority of my friends growing up had, as I did, parents or grandparents who had come out from Ireland. Uh, the area was surrounded by water on 3 sides, home to Columbia University's athletic complex, and contained Inwood Park with football fields, American and Irish football fields, basketballs, tennis, the only natural forest in New York City. In spite of the above, the most distinguishing characteristic was the fact that it contained more bars than any neighborhood in New York City. So many, in fact, that famed columnist Walter Winchell referred to it as Ginwood in the newspaper and on his radio show. And the important Inwood getting this reputation was the fact that the legal drinking age in New York State at the time was 18. Coupled with the early age was the fact that the large forests meant that most of us could start beer drinking at 14 or 15. I had my first can of beer at the age of 14. I didn't really like it, but that soon changed. Uh, Beer sellers either believed that the purchaser was buying for his parents or just didn't care. Another reason nighttime beer drinking was so popular was the Irish Catholic girls had been taught and believed that if a boy opens your blouse, you committed mortal sin, and if a car hit you on the way home, right to hell. Yes, no sex, so he drank. The accepted proof of legal drinking was a draft card for males. That was when we had a U.S. military draft. But some bars didn't pay much attention to that. I had my first underage beer at a bar at 15. I was a regular in 2 local bars before becoming legal. When I reached legal age, I and friends during the summer would often take a lengthy A train subway to the equally Irish neighborhood and beach community of Rockaway, New York, where the main attraction there was the beach and the bars. I got my first real attachment to the culture that my grandparents had left behind in Mickey Cotton's Irish Mayo House, listening to Ruthie Morrissey sing "The Green on the Green" and the Dying Rebels, both still favorites. At Iona College, I took a course in Irish literature from Brother Charles B. Quinn, later a Grand Marshal of the New York City's St. Patrick's Day Parade, exploring the writings of Moore, Synge, Yeats, and Thomas, and could feel it throw from the Irish blood in my veins. Looking back, I believe I owe I owe to my beer drinking my years at Irish Ironwood. Uh, the the beer was mainly the glue that held us together, talking and telling stories. I never would have become a writer and poet were not for those days. Irish Ironwood maybe no longer physically exists, but it lives on in my mind. And a short one that I heard people mention there are presidents. I wrote this about 6 weeks ago. Questions for today: military in the streets, an indecipherable president who'd be regent sleeps during his parades as though he was at the Pope's funeral in his blue suit, uh, while 5 million protest in street. Scads of non-criminal immigrants deported. Emma Lazarus, words forgotten while a lady in the harbor weeps. What happened to the America of civil rights revolution, sexual revolution, gay revolution, and other movements toward true democracy? I broke my hip. Donald Trump's America is breaking my heart. Will it get better? When will it get better? I will walk again. Will America? Thank you for putting up with me.